Page 77, musical study or musical etude, whichever. So I'm going to go through the process that I went through or discussed in detail in the previous lesson. I'm not going to repeat all that explanation again. Yuck. I'll bore me. But I'm going to probably add a few things here. Maybe. I don't know. Let's get into it and find out. First thing I do is I look it over. It's 2 lines long with a repeat sign. That's fine. But there's only 2 lines of music to learn. Check the clef signs. They're treble and bass clef. That's okay. Key signature is 1 flat. That is either F major or its relative minor. Remember the relative minor, you go down a third, an interval of a third. So in F major, you're using all white keys except the B flat here. So these are the keys I'm going to use to go down a third. So it's here. It's like 1, 2, 3. So I get a D. So D minor is the relative minor to F major. So D minor has 1 flat, the B flat. But if we're in D position, the B flat is not in that position. However, if it were, we'd use a B flat. And you may get accidentals on some of these minor keys, but I'm going to wait until you get them to explain that. And 3/4 time signature again. I just see a bunch of quarter notes and half notes and dotted half notes. The hands are playing together sometimes, so I'm going to take this one hand at a time. Make sure I have the notes, the rhythms, and the fingering. I'm going to connect everything I can. I'm not concerned about articulation or dynamics or none of that. I'm focusing on notes, rhythm, and fingering. Right hand, second measure. You have a thumb here, that puts your hand here. You don't need any other finger numbers. In my opinion, you should scratch them out or cross them out. Don't have to scratch. Cross them out. I think it's a really bad idea to be reading finger numbers. Some teachers teach it. They'll go in and put in finger numbers through the whole thing. And I think they're setting their students up to fail when they do that. However, we're here. And the quarter notes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. And then we have a rest. And then we do good on. Okay. I do the same with the left hand. Left hand starts little finger here. That puts the hand here. I don't need any other finger numbers. Read the notes. 1, 2, 3, and then a rest. And then third measure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. Once I have each hand figured out, then I'll try putting the hands together and see what happens. If I hesitate, that's fine. I'm not concerned about it right now. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And then here, left hand stays down, and then here. And then I do it again. Okay. So I put the hands together, and then I go back over it slowly and carefully, and I work on the spots where I'm having problems, where I'm hesitating, and get rid of the hesitations. No hesitations anywhere. It doesn't matter how fast you go, but no hesitations. Once I've done that, then I'll think about the articulation. Now this has the phrasing, so I'm going to connect it here all the way to the end of the first line. All that's connected together. You got slurs in the left hand. It's not a phrase, it's a slur. Remember the difference between a phrase and a slur. A phrase is a musical sentence, a musical thought. Generally, you'll lift up before and after a phrase. Not always, but most of the time you do. A slur just tells you to connect the notes within the slur, within the curved line. You may or may not connect the notes within a phrase, but you do connect the notes in a slur. However, you don't always lift up before and after a slur. So in the left hand, the dotted half notes and the last 2 measures of the second line, those are slurs. Those are not musical thoughts. You connect them. The question then is, why are they there? We're connecting them anyway. And the answer is because if they were not there, it's up to you and your interpretation on how you choose to play it. If the curved lines in the bottom staff, the left hand, were not there, so the last 2 measures of each line, I could disconnect them. So the last 2 measures of instead of this, for the last 2 measures, I could disconnect the left hand. If I wanted to. Doesn't make sense, but the point is I could have. But when they put in the slur, that takes the option away. Now I have to connect them. Now once I have the articulation figured out, then I'll do the dynamics. P at the beginning, piano for soft. You'll have to decide what soft is. Not super soft, just soft. And And then you have the hairpin to go get louder, and then another hairpin to come back down. We call it a swell. We're going to swell up and then back down. And when I get these, I look in the middle between the hairpins. I see what note or notes are there, and that's my target. That's where I'm headed. I want to go to there and then back off. Sometimes the music will tell you how much louder to get, and sometimes, like here, they don't. How much louder do you get? Well, I don't know. It doesn't say. It depends on, you feel it. It's part of interpretation. Maybe you only go up a little bit. Here. Maybe I go up a lot. That's interpretation. If they don't tell you, it's up to you. Try and listen to the music, and what is the music kind of telling you to do? How do you feel it? Now, in going up, crescendoing, I have 2 measures. I got 6 notes here. I got to plan it out, or I'll be loud by the second measure. I'm already there. It's too soon. So for the first couple notes or so, I'm not going to change at all. I'm going to stay soft. Then I go up. This is like 2 notes at a time. You have to figure it out, because you might take it a measure at a time, a few notes at a time, a phrase at a time. It depends on how long it is, how long the crescendo or diminuendo is, as to how you plan it out. Yeah, something like that. You don't have to go that fast. Again, don't copy me. I'm just trying to get the idea of a crescendo and a diminuendo, a swell. The melody in the last 2 measures is in the right hand. That's what we want to hear. The left hand can get softer here, but it's really the right hand we're listening for. Because when you're dealing with dynamics, normally they give you one dynamic, and the rule is it applies to the melody, wherever it is. Everything else is background. So first 2 measures is melody. That third measure, that's not. So it needs, the left hand's got to stay out of the way. Just keep the left hand out of the way. So you're getting kind of heavy in one hand and you're light in the other. Yeah, okay. I use weight when I play, so the heavier, the louder, and the lighter, the softer. Eventually. Takes time and practice to get that kind of control. Don't use the soft pedal, please. That's cheating. You're going to learn to do this control with the hands only, the fingers. And then once I have that, I think about the speed. Andante con moto. Huh. Andante again. Con moto means with motion. In other words, don't drag it. You might, a stroll, not a slow stroll. Huh? That's my andante con moto for now, and I could change later. It's all done by feel. The repeat sign, you just repeat it and go on. Okay. There is more I can say on this again, but I'm going to try and keep the video a little shorter, and so I'll cover the other stuff in other lessons. And there's a note on this one to transpose it to C minor. So you're saying, okay, what's the key signature for C minor? And that's, again, it helps to know the scales in this. I'm going to tell you, the relative major to C minor is E flat major. There are 3 flats in E flat. So C minor has 3 flats. So what you have is you have the major and you're just taking the middle note down 1. If that's easier for you, do it that way. Go to a C major chord and make it a minor chord by lowering the middle note. So you're playing this in C minor. I play that a little fast. I'm just trying to get you the idea. I'm just playing the same fingers. I'm just in a C minor position. Let's play this together slowly, if you need to, and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. I don't do louds and softs because we're not performing it. We're just checking notes and rhythms. I will do the articulation, so I'm going to lift up between the phrases. The first line here, lift up. So there's a little silence between them. Yeah. I'll give us 3 counts. 1, ready, go. 2. 1, 2, repeat.